Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone who do rule and teach well. Shalom, peace and blessings, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Barakatham, to Sia Akim, pushing his gospel to the four corners of the earth, laboring in all diligence, righteousness, and sincerity for the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai, and to the few sincere Aquath, listening and learning as well in silence as the scriptures command. To you I say Shalom. So back in the news with more Babylon ending events, and one way this place is going to go out before the enemy comes in is internal divide, or other words, civil war. All right. And with the madness of this Trump regime, here it is where on week 3 of a government shutdown, they've already announced that for the month of November, people won't be receiving SNAP benefits. All right. And we already know what's going to come from that. People are already on TikTok uploading videos like, yeah, okay, let me not get my SNAP November 1st. I'm going out and I'm about to take some shit. That's what type of time people are on. And see, this is what this regime wants, all right? Because both the right and the left, they both need the chaos to bring in the agenda of the elites, all right? So you got ICE, going around, which a lot of these ICE agents are just regular U.S. citizens, you know what I'm saying? Also, some of them are those military-age men that they brought over the border a few years ago, you know what I'm saying? But pretty much you got ICE operations going on in all the major cities across America, and people getting beat up, stomped out, getting their doors kicked in, and a lot of what they doing is not being put on the social media because, well, not social media, but the mainstream media, should I say, they not blasting that because they don't really want Americans to feel like there's an active war going on against them, but that's exactly what's going on. All right, National Guard has been deployed. ICE is out there doing what they doing, and people are unhappy. People are voicing their frustrations about the madness and the unconstitutional acts that are going down on American soil to American citizens. So you see the title right here. This is from Zero Hedge. You're not the only one with guns. Anti-ICE organizer issues viral threat against U.S. Marshal wounded in ramming incident. And see, as the scriptures say in the book of 2 Timothy, the end of the last days shall come, perilous times, dangerous times, right? So there was a U.S. Marshal that was wounded in a ramming incident, you know what I'm saying? And, people out there pretty much saying that what ICE is doing is illegal. They're going around rounding up U.S. citizens, even people that are here legally, rounding them up, detaining them, and even deporting, some people. All right, so there's a lot of confusion, just a lot of wickedness going on with this whole ICE thing. Okay, so you have calls, from people out there. All right, this Jake right here, what's his name, Ron Gochez, right? Got this Jake right here. He's pretty much like, people got the right to defend themselves. Y'all can, carry weapons, because basically we don't know who these ICE, officers are. They going around masked up. They're not identifying themselves, and it's pretty much, you have to take this thing as if somebody's really trying to run up on you, and you have the right, the constitutional right to defend yourself. All right, but the rhetoric that's coming out from this is music to Trump's ears. All right, music to Pete Hegseth's ears, because this is what they want to see. All right, they want people to buck up. They want people to become violent against what Trump is doing. And see, these devils at the top, they know what they're doing, man. All right, because we're really one false flag event away from these devils declaring martial law and shutting everything down. And that's why they got the National Guard being deployed to these different states. I think just yesterday, the courts, gave Trump the okay to send in National Guard to Portland. You know what I'm saying? And there was one other city I forget, but yeah, man, National Guard is out there in these cities as well as ICE. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got a double invasion going on. But in the midst of that, people just not gonna lay down and just take this shit. People, they got families, they got loved ones, and things of that nature. Like they see what's happening. So we're at the point now where people about to take matters into their own hands because they see that law enforcement is not with them, the government is not with them. These local agencies are not doing anything about what's being done. So we're at the point now, people are ready to, take arms and defend themselves, which, again, this is going to be grounds for Trump to call for the Insurrection Act, all right? Remember, he was talking about that a few weeks ago. And it's also going to be grounds for them to implement martial law to where they're going to be justified in locking down the country and setting up checkpoints, setting up zones. And we know that they also going to do some false flag events that's going to really set the bar high, So we're going to read some of this. LA school teacher and prominent anti-ICE activist Ron Gochez has suggested that if the Trump administration continues to round up illegal aliens, they may wind up on the receiving end of a bullet. And see, notice how he didn't say American citizens. He said illegal aliens, all right? Which the rhetoric coming out from Trump is that this is an immigration issue. And we know that's some BS, We know that these devils, they're making this bigger than an immigration issue. This is really coming against you Israelites, all right? But Ron Gochez is saying, if they're going to go out and round up illegal aliens when illegal aliens technically have no rights, you know what I'm saying? So this regime can do whatever they want. Really he should have said American citizens, you know what I'm saying? Or people that have been given asylum to be here. But anyways, this is South Central LA. Gochez told a crowd at a Tuesday evening anti-ICE protest. They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that. And this is on Fox News, all right? So you have to understand that these individuals that pop out of nowhere, they just all of a sudden come out and they have this certain rhetoric. You have to be aware of individuals like this in this time because, we're in some very inflammatory times where things are very fragile. And if you say the wrong thing, then, that can really set things off. But this was a red flag to me because it's on Fox News. And we know that Fox News and CNN and, these other, ABC, whatever have you, these platforms are nothing but propaganda. All right. So being that Trump, he wants to, pretty much bring the Insurrection Act into effect. He wants the plenary authority, which really means that he's going to be a king. He's going to have complete control and authority to do what he want to do without the approval of the courts or without having to abide by the Constitution. All right. So I can't prove it, but the spirit is telling me like, this guy right here was set up. That this guy is he's a what do you call it? He's a paid actor. All right, I'll just say that. All right, because it ain't nothing for Esau to just grab up some random individual, pay them to come out. Because this is the first time that I'm hearing about this guy. I don't know who this dude is. Apparently he's just a anti-ICE activist, which there's a lot of anti-ICE activists out there, but he's a school teacher. So why would he come out and make these statements talking about they ain't the only ones that got guns, right? This all plays into the narrative that, this Trump regime is really going for, all right? That people are dangerous. We need to put them down. We need to bring order. Now they're talking about, putting lead in ICE agents, you know what I'm saying? So all of this stuff that's going on, this is the devil right here. Okay, whether this guy is set up or not, or whether he's just genuinely, advocating for people to bust back at the ICE. Hey, we don't know, but whatever the case, it don't matter. All right, it all plays into biblical prophecy, and we know by biblical prophecy that lockdowns and martial law is going to be declared, at some point. So this is the video right here. Check it out.
Don't forget where you're standing. This is South Central Los Angeles. They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that. And I don't say that because we're calling for violence. I'm saying that because the people have every right to defend themselves against masked, unidentified gunmen with AR-15s and other military rifles. The people have every right to defend themselves.
Now, like I said, my the spirit is telling me that this guy has been set up to say this because it's on Fox News of all platforms. But this is how a lot of people feel, because a lot of people are ready to take matters into their own hands because they see that this Trump regime, he don't give a damn. Okay, he going out, he rounding up people, rounding up children, men, women, they don't care, man. All right, so there's only so much, there's only so far that you can push people until the people start pushing back. All right, so we pretty much at that point, man. But this is the propaganda that's being put out there. Okay, because what are the odds that even if this was a real speech, what I'm saying, that this individual just came out and said that, they going to put it on Fox News. So this could potentially inspire more of the American people to get behind what he's saying. All right, because these Americans are dumb as hell. All right, anything they see on the news, they going to eat it up and they going to run with it. All right. But that's why we tell you, Jakes, not to be out there in the midst of these protests and these rallies and shit like that. Because at the end of the day, these things can be used to forward the agenda of the wicked elite. And if you're in the midst of it, well, you're going to catch that judgment as well. All right. So, and this is the thing about it. I get it. I get it that Esau, he's coming down with great wrath on our people and our people are tired. I get it. But see, this is why our people need to repent, because the whole reason why the Most High is allowing the devil to come down on us is because we not living right. Okay, we're not we as a people collectively have not repented. So this is why judgment is coming down the way it is. So as we say, man, that the solution is not carnal, because you're not about to take up no AR-15s or take a damn military grade rocket launcher and come up against E. No. All right, that's not going to happen. We don't have the power to overcome this devil right now as it is. We are going to get the power. The Lord is going to give us spiritual power to overcome our enemies, but that's going to come in due time. Right? Right now, we're as worms, we're as defenseless creatures, man. You know what I'm saying? That need protection, that need salvation, which is going to come from our big bro, Yahweh Shai. All right? So, this guy, Ron Goche is out there pretty much inciting violence against ICE. That's that's not the answer, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's only going to get our people deeper in the hole that they don't want to be in. All right, so check it out. It says, I don't say that because we're calling for violence. He continued, I'm saying that because the people have every right to defend themselves against mass unidentified gunmen with AR-15s and other military rifles. Citizens do, but anyway. His comments followed a shooting incident earlier Tuesday during an ICE enforcement operation where a U.S. Marshal was wounded in the hand by a ricochet bullet, and the suspect, Carlitos Ricardo Parias, was shot in the elbow after allegedly ramming federal vehicles. Gochez has made headlines this year as a founder of the LA chapter of Unión del Barrio, an activist group known for patrolling LA to look for signs of ICE agents setting up to conduct immigration raids and then posting about them to their Instagram following of nearly 150,000, right? We think that an ICE agent leaked their meetup to us where they set up a depot to plan their day, Goche says, of his pride, a hint of pride in his voice. We disrupted their operation and they retreated to their main depot in Terminal Island, San Pedro. Our eyes are our eyes are on their stations day and night, tracking when they leave and return. Okay, so apparently he founded Union del Barrio in '04, you know. Union del Barrio's tagline reads that they are committed to the complete liberation of all Raza from Chile to Alaska and supporting the self-determination of oppressed peoples worldwide. And see, Jake don't never learn, man. Okay, Jake want to take matters into their own hands and think they gonna save themselves. It's not gonna happen, bro. All right, we done tried everything already. You know, we done tried, you know, Black Power. You know, we done tried civil rights. You know, we done tried the Black Panther. Like all the militant stuff. We and all the peaceful stuff that you could do. We already done did it. And guess what? We still in captivity. We're still under the foot of Esau. All right. And like I said, I get it, man. Like our people are tired of being oppressed, but clearly this ain't it. Because all you're going to do is egg this devil on. All right. Because look, Esau wants you to get carnal. All right. Esau wants you to pick up the sword and try to go against him. And see, our people don't understand. This is this man's blessing. All right. This is where this man excels at. This is why you got to fight this man with the spirit. Because if you fight Esau with the spirit, then he's going to lose every single time because he's not a spiritual man. Esau is a natural man. Okay? Yeah, so our people, bottom line is, our people just got to repent because all that's going to come from this is Esau coming down harder and eventually civil war. All right? And like I mentioned, this came on Fox News, right? You got these other, check this out. Abigail Spanberger, all right, she said this some weeks ago, all right? Because remember, she was the one that said, let your rage fuel you, right? In that speech, all right, that Jake just gave, that's a speech of rage, all right? That, that's what she want to hear. Okay, that's what these devils want to hear, all right? So yeah, check this
deserves
out.
better than a candidate for governor who uses language like this.
Let your rage fuel you.
Let your rage fuel you.
Let your rage fuel you.
All right, so Abigail Spanberger, all right, in the midst of all of the madness that's going on in Babylon the Great, she out there talking about some let your rage fuel you, all right? And these are the people that rule over you, man. So you have to ask the question, why would they come out and make such statements if they don't want civil war? Why would they come out and make these inflammatory statements knowing that the situation in America now is very tense? You know what I'm saying? People are on edge. Instead of, telling people, hey, we all need to come together and figure something out. We all need to, stop all this violence and all this, man. No, that's not what they saying. They're out there talking about let your rage fuel you. All right? They out there wanting people to pick up guns, wanting people to pick up arms. And if the people don't do it, then they're going to send in their agent provocateurs to do it. And that's going to set it off. Like I said, we only one false flag away from all hell breaking loose. All right? Then you got this nigga right here, man, Trump. All right? This came out a few days ago. I'm sure y'all brothers and sisters done already seen it. But he pretty much SHIT'd on the protesters that was at the No Kings protest. All right, showing you that these Americans, these Babylonians, that your own government don't give two shits about you, man. Okay? Because the people have a constitutional right to freedom of assembly, to protest, right? But Trump, he made his AI video on True Social and he put it out there for you Babylonians and the world to see, right? How they really feel about you. That they don't give a damn about your protest. That it's not going to accomplish anything. That is pretty much a waste of time. Okay, Esau wants you to get to that action. All right, Esau wants you to start busting back. All right, that's what he wants you to do, because that's going to give him more fuel to his fire to come in and make the blaze bigger. You know what I'm saying? So Trump mocks No Kings protest with shocking AI videos. All right, and you know, this was an extremely, childish video. But what else would you expect from a guy like DJT? All right, this guy's a convicted felon. Over 20 counts of child X abuse. Raping women. Just all type of wickedness, man. But this is the president of the United States, and these stupid ass Babylonians voted for this dude. So what do you expect? Did you expect some morally upright man to come in and honor your constitutional rights? Did you expect some saint to come into the White House and clean up America? That's really what you thought was gonna happen? Showing you that these Americans are delusional, man. Showing you that they're strongly deluded. Because there's no way in hell that a guy that's as vile, all right, as Donald Trump, to say the least, that you gonna expect any type of justice or upright behavior from this nigga, man. This is the last guy that you should expect that from. Okay? That's like putting that's like putting RuPaul in the seat of a president, man. You know that shit is gonna go way left. As soon as as soon as they get the ball rolling, it's all finna go left. All right? Insane. And then you check what people saying in the comments, right? What a crazy time to be alive. Yeah, indeed. This is the kind of things you see and hear in the Dementia Ward. When a clown enters a palace, he does not become a king. The palace will become a circus. And America is nothing but a big ass circus, man. This place can't even be taken seriously. And this is why we tell our people, man, look, all right, this ain't it. This ain't it, bro. All right, like what the hell do you want to stay here for? Look at the madness of Babylon the Great. America is too far gone. America been too far gone. But especially where it is now is like, what is there to hope for? All right, you got the president of the United States, right, putting out videos like this. Okay, this is what you have going on. This place is a complete clown show. All right. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, your president, right, shows exactly how he feels about Americans. Exactly. He don't give a fuck about none of you Americans, Babylonians, man. And see, these elites, they look at the average American as goyim, okay, as useless eaters, cattle. All right. That's how they look at you. They don't respect none of your rights, okay? And see, Esau don't respect you because he knows that whatever that they do, you gonna bow down to this shit, man. All right, that whatever they do, you gonna bend over, you gonna take it, and you gonna take your stupid ass back to work. You gonna pay your taxes, and you ain't gonna do shit about it. So that's why he's able to make a video like this and just, shit all over you, man. All right, because that's what they've been doing, and that's what they're gonna continue to do. And again, there's nothing that you can do about it. All right. It's crazy, man. But this is the world that we live in. All right. This is the result of the rulership of the wicked. All right. Proverbs 29:2 say what? When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So the fact that everybody is mourning in this time, that should tell you, point blank, that the wicked is in charge, man, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. So with all this rhetoric, let your rage fuel you. Trump taking a dump on your protests and people is talking to bear arms against the gut. Hey man, it's only a matter of time before it all goes down. Is that First Peter? See, that's First Peter 4. Let's see real quick. Yeah, because see, our people have it messed up. They really don't look to Yahushua to save us from the predicament that we're in. And ultimately, our people don't understand that we're in a time of judgment. All right. First Peter 4:17, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obeyed not the gospel? See? So if you don't obey the gospel, man, what's going to be the end of you? If you out here talking about you going to save yourself, then guess what? The Lord is going to allow you to attempt to save yourself. But guess what? It's all going to end in misery. All right? It's all going to come to nothing. It's all vanity. Okay? Because you ain't put yourself in this situation, so you ain't going to get yourself out of it, man. Only our Lord Yahweh Shai is going to save us from the hands of our enemies. Okay? As it is written. All right? So Jake need to cut that shit out, man, because as I said before, all the movements we tried to do in the past to get ourselves out of slavery from these devils, it hasn't worked. Why? Because Yahweh Bashman Shai has not been involved. You see? So then when you go to 2nd Ezra 15, all right, because we know civil war is coming. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, and that's what Jake was saying in that first video. You know what I'm saying? Look, ICE ain't the only ones that got guns and this and that. And hey, look, man, when you read Isaiah the 59th chapter, it tells you that the enemy is going to come in like a flood. All right, and guess what? Esau got more guns. All right, he got more heavy weaponry than you. He's more organized. All right, Esau knows these cities better than you know yourself. So what makes our people think that they really about to pick up the sword against Esau? Again, that's what he wants you to do. That's what they're egging you on to do, man, because they want civil war to further collapse this American society. All right? America's already collapsing economically. Trade is shutting down. Businesses are closing at a rapid rate. People losing jobs at an all-time high. All right? People's benefits about to be cut. So they got the economy on lock already. All they need now is justification for a civil war and to instate the Insurrection Act, martial law, and to come in heavy. That's what they want to do. All right? So yeah, as the scriptures say, that they shall not regard their kings nor princes. You know what I'm saying? People have the mindset. You got a lot of veterans, patriots out there that are like, yo, we can't allow, this guy Trump to just continue to destroy our livelihood and our families, man. And that's really going to take it to the next level when the food is gone. All right? Because when people can't eat, all bets are off. Because, hey, if you can't eat, then you can't live. So that's when people are going to really rise up and take to the streets, and it's going to be mass violence in which these devils are going to be justified in coming in and bringing their satanic order. All right, we already know the playbook that these devils are laying down. You see, 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Yeah, because it's going to be checkpoints. They're going to have certain zones that you can't get out of. You know what I'm saying? Like interstate travel is going to be shut down and everything. We see that the airports are all out of order. You know what I'm saying? Going into the holiday season, they already talking about a lot of people not going to be traveling because the TSA workers, they not getting paid. You know, pilots. You know, I'm not sure if the pilots get paid federally or whatever, but a lot of them are not showing up. A lot of airport personnel are not showing up because they're not getting paid, and this is the second paycheck that they're gonna miss for this month going into November. So if you ain't getting paid and there's no promise of back pay, which Trump has already said that pretty much federal workers are not going to receive back pay, all right, for basically working for free, man. And he was the same very one that signed the bill, I think it was back in 2018 or 2019, something like that, that would ensure that whenever a government shutdown does occur, that federal workers would get back pay. Now, he's reneging on that, showing you that hey man, Esau is just a complete unrighteous devil. Okay, how was it that the very law that you signed now you want to repeal it? Type of shit is that, man? But hey, that's the devil for you. Okay, he keeps not his word. 18, for because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, these are the times we're coming into. 19, and man shall have no pity, no mercy, man. People not going to give a damn if you sick or you old, young. All right, if you got something that they can use that they need, then they come in and take it from you. And hey, let's just say that they're going to die trying. All right, that's going to be the time, man, where people are going to have that animalistic, savage nature on them. All right, that's going to be the spirit that's going to be on people, man, because, even at that point, it's not going to be no 911. All right, nobody's coming to save you, man. You going to be on your own. All right, need to understand that. Unless you have your Yahweh Shai Shai, then you will be safe. But if you out here on your own and you want to get carnal and think you're going to save yourself, hey, the Lord is going to let you have it, and you're going to fail miserably. All right, but they shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So you see, these things are going to be brought on by lack of bread. Okay, so when the food is gone, people going to lose their damn mind. All right, and for great tribulation, we're in the midst of great tribulation right now, but it's only going to get worse. All right, and that lack of bread is right around the corner. That famine. Okay, not only a famine of physical bread, but it's also going to be a famine of the word. And hey, that's going to be really when the issue is going to hit the fan. You know what I'm saying? Once the prophet stops speaking, that's when the real hell is going to come, because at that point there's no more warning. Now it's time for the judgment. All right, then you're going to see all these things start to go down at a unprecedented rate. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 9. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1 at the top. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. See? So when you begin to see uproars of the people, seditions, protests, which is happening all over the earth, man. These scriptures are already being fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? And it's, even here within America, all right? You name it, it's going down. Okay, you begin to see all these things that our Lord Yahweh Shai told us of in Matthew 24th chapter. Kingdom against kingdom, nation rising against nation, people betraying one another, becoming offended, and things of that nature, man. It tell you in 2nd Ezra 6 that friends shall fight one against another like enemies. And it's going to be because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. People going to turn on each other. So this is a time, as it says in Daniel 12:1, I'm saying that it's going to be a time like no other. All right, from the beginning even to this time now, and shall not be seen again after, man. This is a very dangerous time that we entering into. It's going to be danger at every corner. You ain't going to be able to trust nobody, all right? Because everybody's going to be out for self in that day, man. All these carnal people in this world that don't know Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, they going to do you in for a damn slice of Wonder Bread, man. You know what I'm saying? The worst bread that you can eat, they going to do you in for that, all right? So that's why being in this truth, you know what I'm saying, those of us that, have come into the glorious light of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, man, we're not going to operate on that level because ultimately that's a carnal mindset, man. All right. Those of us that are, tapped into the spirit of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, we trust that the Lord is going to take care of us as he is already doing. All right. A lot of people around us are catching hell, and even, we catch hell too. But it's not to the degree that people in the world are catching hell, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the Lord preserve us and he give us strength every day to go out and do what we got to do, get our daily bread, provide for our families, and ultimately, have a peace of mind, through it all, to understand why these things are happening, to understand what's coming next. That's comfort in and of itself right there. All right. So these things are not to be taken for granted. Akim wa akwat, but, this is for us to, know that the Lord is with us and continue upon a straight and narrow path that leads to righteousness and salvation. Because ultimately we understand that for us, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, for these people, when this world goes, they gonna go. All right? When they ain't got no more food, they gonna crash out. Okay? When they don't have a job no more, they gonna crash out. When they get their car repo, they gonna crash out. Okay? Watch and see how wicked it's gonna get in November once people don't get them snaps, man. All right? Don't be surprised if you're going to see, more follow home robberies, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing, too. For a few sisters out there, move especially vigilant in this time, okay? If you got a man, and you got to go out, make sure that your man is with you, all right? Or if you a sister that don't have a man, pray that the Lord sends you a man of the Lord, okay? Because you're going to need that in this time, man. Trust and believe that, you know what I'm saying? But, just be circumspect, don't be, try not to go places by yourself if you can help it, you know what I'm saying? If you're out there buying groceries or whatever, just be circumspect, you know what I'm saying? Just pay attention to your surroundings. And I'm going to say this too, especially in this time now, coming into these latter months of the year, don't be, going out buying a whole bunch of groceries and shit like that. Okay. If you can, just try to split it up, or if you do buy a lot of groceries and things of that nature to put away, make sure that you're being discreet. Okay. Just use wisdom. Okay. Make sure you're being discreet. Don't let everybody know what you got going on. If you don't feel comfortable taking your stuff in during the daytime, then just wait till the night. Take it in while nobody's looking, or you feel, more safe. But just point being, use discretion, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in a different time. People are watching. There was a video I remember doing some months ago, to where this one Eve, like, she was in the store, and she probably only had like max, I think, 8 or 9 items inside of her cart. And people was passing by telling her like, yeah, you got some money, don't you? Mind you, she ain't have nothing in the cart. 8 or 9 items. And people looking at that and say, you got money to, be buying all this? Imagine what they would have been thinking if she had a full cart. All right? So, yeah, man, for you sisters out there, hey, pray that the Lord sends you a man of the Lord, a man of understanding. All right, they can, guide you through this time, man, because trust me, for the women out there, it's going to be extremely rough. All right, it already is, but I ain't seen nothing yet. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 19. All right. We close out. Isaiah 19:1, the message to Egypt. Okay, which modern day spiritual Egypt is America, Babylon the Great. Right. Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight, everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So that entails divisions, civil war, households being divided, and ultimately people taking up the sword against one another, man. Okay, so this is speaking of civil war right here within the midst of America. All right, so we're in that time, and as we showed you, man, like you see the rhetoric going around. ICE, they ain't the only ones that got guns. Okay, let your rage fuel you. Okay, Trump, saying all the BS that he be saying, man. And there's going to be more propaganda that's going to be put on the mainstream news that's going to galvanize people to just crash out. All right. So again, man, don't be in the midst of these people. Don't be going to large gatherings. You know what I'm saying? If you can help it, it's best to avoid that in this time, because Esau, he's being very crafty right now, trying to look for any situation, any crisis that he can use to blow it up in his favor. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man, civil war is coming to Babylon the Great. People are fed up, and you're gonna be seeing more, stuff like this, man. Okay, more calls for violence against the higher officials. You know what I'm saying? Very soon you're gonna be seeing people go out and start headhunting these politicians, if they haven't done it already, which a lot of them, they're either not in America no more, or they're going to the underground bunkers. All right, because they know that all hell is about to break loose within America, and they don't want to be nowhere around when it gets shut down. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash. Call Hadar Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Kom Yasha Allah, Wa Ba Ba.